Ray J has embarked on a new chapter as a streamer, sharing his life online with his current partner, Sheila, who, interestingly, once dated Kevin Gates. Yet, their relationship isn't without complications. The lingering shadow of Ray J's past love, his ex-wife Princess Love, seems to cast a subtle but persistent tension over his current romance. In a candid conversation, Ray J tried to clarify the situation. "That's my baby mama," he explained, addressing concerns about the closeness he shares with Princess Love. He emphasized that the ex-wife is merely trying to understand the dynamic so that co-parenting with the children can be handled thoughtfully, not because of discomfort or jealousy. Even so, emotions run high. Sheila was visibly upset, and at present, their relationship appears to be on pause. Meanwhile, Ray J and Princess Love continue to exchange flirtatious gestures, occasionally meeting and even sharing affection like on-camera kisses, leaving observers to wonder about the boundaries of their relationship. The drama reached a tipping point on Thanksgiving morning, November 27th. What was meant to be a celebration of family peace escalated into a chaotic scene. Accusations of brandishing a firearm flew back and forth. "I didn't point anything at anyone." Ray J defended himself repeatedly, while tensions mounted over concerns of alcohol, responsibility, and safety. Voices clashed over who had been drinking, who was driving, and the wakefulness of the children caught in the middle. The confrontation became personal and cutting. Words like selfish, delusional, and even woman abuser were exchanged, painting a picture of a family caught in a storm of unresolved issues and emotional volatility. Ray J's attempts to maintain calm clashed with the anger and frustration of those around him, leaving a holiday meant for gratitude instead mired in conflict. As the argument continues, you can hear the tension spilling over. Princess insists that Ray J tried to take her daughter, while he's pushing back, telling everyone to grow up and stop making the situation worse. At one point, her young son becomes part of the argument too, as Ray J tries to prevent anyone from removing the children from the house. The scene grows even more chaotic when a man, identified as Princess Love's male cousin, walks into the room. She claims Ray J pointed a gun at her earlier, though everyone involved seems to have been drinking. Ray J, meanwhile, accuses Princess of being drunk and intentionally waking the kids so she can take them and leave in the middle of the night. Her cousin entering the bedroom only heightens the conflict, as he appears to help remove the children from the house at a moment when the family was supposed to be preparing for Thanksgiving dinner. Instead of a holiday gathering, everything is unraveling. And then things spiral even further. Ray J can be heard shouting threats. "Shoot the house, shoot me right now, stop before I kill you." The cousin tries to calm him down, but the argument keeps accelerating. At this point, Ray J is openly threatening to shoot the man, while Princess insists once again that he had already pulled a gun on her. All of this is happening during a live stream broadcast in real time to the public. The live stream itself raises major questions. Some believe Ray J was filming everything just to boost views, while others think he went live as a way of protecting himself, creating a public record of the incident so that he could later claim, "This is what really happened." Regardless of his intention, the plan backfires. Ray J ends up being arrested. Once released, he decides to address the incident directly. He explains that the argument began in his home, two adults clashing. According to him, Princess wanted to leave, even though the children were upstairs asleep in his bed. Instead of letting them rest, he says she tried to wake them in the middle of the conflict and take them out of the house. That's when her cousin entered his bedroom, attempting to grab the kids while, according to Ray J, everyone except him was drunk. He insists that he refused to let anyone drive away intoxicated with his children. Ray J describes the moment the police were called. He expected them to understand the situation. Instead, he was handcuffed and taken away while, he claims, Princess and her cousin pulled his children out of bed at 4 in the morning, crying, confused, and terrified. A grown man, he says, was physically lifting his child from his own bed in his own home. From Ray J's perspective, he was defending his kids and the space they were sleeping in. He emphasizes that he didn't lay a hand on Princess or anyone else until they tried to grab the children from the bed. He ends his message with one final sentiment. He loves his kids. He wasn't going to let them be taken under those circumstances, and he stands by the way he handled things, even with the chaos that followed. This is a whole other situation. Ray J seems to say in frustration, "I'm in my own house. I hate that this happened." The fallout online has been intense. Social media and the public have painted him as unstable, a man losing control, even a danger. But when you look closely, his side of the story isn't entirely implausible. According to Ray J, a disagreement escalated when Princess Love called her cousin to the house. The cousin entered the home, apparently trying to wake Ray J's children. Ray J, who did not want an unfamiliar adult in his house at that hour, threatened the man. Ultimately, the police were called, and Ray J ended up in jail. Viewed through this lens, his account has a thread of credibility. Princess Love, in her own video, labels him as abusive, and that narrative spreads rapidly online. But beyond the legalities or who is telling the truth, what the public sees matters. Ray J's behavior comes across as irresponsible. Financial success aside, he seems unable to handle conflict with his ex-wife effectively. And that's a broader lesson for men. Public perception often outweighs the facts. Even if you are technically right, losing emotional control, especially around women or children, can make you appear weak, dangerous, or untrustworthy. The key takeaway: if you feel yourself losing control in the presence of someone, that's a signal. It's a signal that you shouldn't be entangled in a situation where emotions consistently override reason, no matter how much love, attraction, or sexual chemistry exists. Ray J's struggle with Princess Love highlights a reality many men face. Even when you care deeply, certain relationships can be damaging if they trigger uncontrollable behavior. Attraction and desire don't always equal compatibility. Many men, like women, carry emotional imprints from past relationships. These imprints can subtly influence behavior and judgment, making it difficult to fully commit to someone new. Ray J, as it seems, has Princess Love's imprint deeply embedded in his emotional life. The broader lesson for men is tough but clear. If a relationship constantly pushes you to act out or lose control, stepping back is necessary, regardless of attraction or history. It's about prioritizing stability and mutual respect over chemistry or nostalgia. Many Black men, in particular, wrestle with the challenge of balancing cultural expectations, past experiences, and the desire for love, often accepting hood love, patterns of drama and dysfunction as the norm. For Ray J, the story is a cautionary one. Until you learn to separate emotional attachment from healthy boundaries, conflict becomes inevitable. Real growth, he suggests, comes when you understand that decent relationships, ones without constant theatrics, or chaos, are possible. And sometimes you have to step away from the people who trigger your worst instincts to experience that kind of stability and respect. I'm serious when I say this. I used to think all Black relationships had to have drama, excitement, and chaos built into them. Anytime I met someone who wasn't about that, I'd dismiss it. She's cool, I'd think, but not for me. I didn't realize that stable, calm relationships, the kind without constant theatrics, were actually the healthiest. As I got older, I learned that it's okay for relationships to be simple. It's okay if they're boring sometimes. In fact, that's often the best kind. Mutual respect, open communication, and the ability to just hang out without constant conflict. That's what makes a relationship strong. Think about anything truly successful. It's usually repetitive and steady. A business owner's life isn't non-stop excitement. It's a series of small, consistent tasks that build something meaningful over time. Relationships are no different. A partnership with someone good for you makes that work enjoyable, not stressful. With Ray J and Princess Love, it's clear neither is going to change, and that's okay. But it also means they probably shouldn't be together. So many people try to force relationships to work, expecting change that will never come. That's a recipe for constant ups and downs, moments of love and chemistry, followed by immaturity and conflict. Here's an important lesson. From the outside looking in, a woman's immaturity might be noticeable, but it's rarely as damaging as a man's. Society tends to hold men to a different standard, and for good reason. When a man loses control, behaves recklessly, or allows his emotions to dictate his actions, as we saw with Ray J during that chaotic Thanksgiving incident, it casts a long shadow over his character. People don't just see a moment of weakness. They see instability, unpredictability, and danger. Actions like pulling a gun, yelling, or crashing out are interpreted as a lack of self-control, and once the public forms that opinion, it's incredibly hard to shake. That perception becomes the defining narrative, regardless of the circumstances that provoked it. And that's the crux of the lesson. Your reputation as a man, your credibility, and the trust people place in you is often judged less by what you say than by how you handle your emotions when tested. In relationships, that standard becomes even more unforgiving. Emotional volatility, especially in moments that involve partners or children, doesn't just reflect poorly, it can have real-world consequences. As Ray J's situation demonstrates, even in your own home, the line between private conflict and public judgment can blur quickly when actions are extreme. This isn't to say women can't be immature or make mistakes. They absolutely can, and immaturity on anyone's part can destabilize a relationship. But from the outside looking in, the consequences appear heavier on the man if he loses control. Society expects men to be measured, steady, and responsible, even in heated moments. So, when a man allows himself to act out of anger or frustration, it undermines everything he's built, including his ability to maintain trust, protect those he cares about, and manage his life with dignity. This dynamic is amplified in high-profile situations, such as those involving celebrities or public figures, where every action is magnified, recorded, and scrutinized. Think about Ray J's Thanksgiving scenario. The argument escalated, emotions flared, a firearm was allegedly involved, and live streaming captured it all for the public to witness. His reaction, whether fully justified or not, immediately framed him as a man losing control. This is not just about legal consequences. This is about perception. In the court of public opinion, what you do often matters more than why you did it. That's an uncomfortable truth for men, but it's one we have to recognize if we want to navigate relationships and life responsibly. It's also an important reminder about boundaries. Emotional control isn't just about appearances. It's about protecting yourself, your family, and your integrity. When a woman or anyone pushes buttons that elicit uncontrolled responses, it's not a reflection of weakness on her part. It's a signal for you to step back. If a situation consistently brings out your worst behavior, that relationship is fundamentally unsafe for you emotionally. It doesn't matter how much chemistry exists, how much you care, or how right the relationship feels on a superficial level. You have to prioritize your mental and emotional stability first. Now, this idea goes beyond just Ray J or celebrity drama. It's applicable to everyday life and relationships. Men often underestimate the subtle ways certain individuals can trigger negative behavior patterns. Sometimes it's a partner, sometimes a coworker, or even a friend, but the principle remains. Repeated exposure to situations that push you to act irrationally or destructively is a red flag. In relationships, this principle is magnified because emotions are heightened, stakes are higher, and the consequences of losing control can affect children, family, and long-term trust. This brings us to the concept of maturity. Maturity is not about being perfect or never making mistakes. It's about developing the self-awareness and discipline to manage your emotions even when provoked. It's about recognizing triggers and having the foresight to disengage before a situation spirals. For men, this can be especially challenging because societal expectations often encourage displays of dominance or toughness, which can conflict with the need for restraint in moments of emotional intensity. The Ray J incident illustrates this tension perfectly. As a man, you are expected to defend your home and family, but there is a fine line between defending and reacting recklessly. Another key lesson from this scenario is the importance of recognizing when someone isn't a good match for you, no matter how strong the attraction or chemistry. It's easy to romanticize volatile relationships. Excitement, passion, and drama can feel intoxicating, and in the short term, they can make a relationship feel alive. But over time, Volatility erodes trust, creates fear, and often leads to cycles of reconciliation followed by conflict. With Ray J and Princess Love, we see a perfect example of this. The chemistry and history exist, but the pattern of conflict and immaturity keeps repeating. That repetition signals incompatibility, not inevitability. Men, in particular, often struggle with this reality because of social and cultural pressures. There is a perception that love should be hard, or that overcoming obstacles is a measure of commitment. While challenges in relationships are natural, consistently being pushed into emotional extremes is not healthy. It's not growth, it's harm. And yet, it can be difficult to step away from someone you are deeply attracted to, someone who triggers both desire and frustration. This is the hard truth of emotional maturity. Sometimes the right choice is to let go, even when the heart resists. The Ray J situation also highlights the broader consequences of public scrutiny. Every action, every reaction, becomes amplified online, and the court of public opinion can be brutal. Once a man is seen as unstable or reckless, it colors how people interpret his every word and action, often erasing nuance. The lesson here extends beyond celebrity life. Men must recognize the power of perception and strive to maintain composure, not for vanity, but for the integrity of their character. Emotional self-control is as much about protecting yourself as it is about maintaining relationships. Let's also consider the importance of long-term perspective. Immediate reactions fueled by anger or fear can have consequences that echo far beyond the moment. Relationships, reputations, and family dynamics are all impacted by how we handle high-stress situations. This is where the true test of maturity comes in, not in avoiding conflict altogether, but in navigating it with a sense of balance and control. When a man can manage his emotions even in the face of provocation, he preserves both his dignity and the trust of those around him. This brings us to the final, perhaps most difficult lesson. Sometimes, love is not enough. Attraction, history, and chemistry are powerful, but they cannot compensate for patterns of behavior that are unhealthy or dangerous. Even if both parties care about each other, the repeated emergence of destructive patterns signals that the relationship is not sustainable. Recognizing this and making the conscious decision to step away is one of the hardest, yet most important, acts of maturity a person can perform. The takeaway for men, and frankly for everyone, is clear. Emotional self-control, stability, and respect are non-negotiable pillars of a healthy relationship. Drama, excitement, and fleeting passion may feel compelling, but they cannot substitute for these fundamentals. And sometimes, the ultimate expression of love is the courage to walk away from someone who brings out the worst in you. In the end, the Ray J incident is more than celebrity gossip. It's a cautionary tale. It's a reminder that how we handle conflict, particularly in relationships, defines how we are seen, respected, and trusted. Stability is not boring. It's the foundation on which lasting relationships are built. Chemistry alone is not enough. Emotional maturity, self-awareness, and the willingness to step away from destructive patterns are what separate short-lived passion from long-term fulfillment. So take this to heart. If you ever find yourself in a situation where someone consistently makes you act out of character, question your control, or lose your dignity, that is a sign. Step back. Protect your integrity. Choose stability over drama. Love over chaos. And remember, the most valuable lessons often come from observing the mistakes of others and reflecting honestly on ourselves. All right, that's my take. This has been another deep dive, back with another episode of Celebrity Jump. Appreciate all the love and support. Subscribe, hit the bell, and we're out.